Hi there, welcome to another video from Hegarty Maths. It's Mr. Hegarty here, and in this video we're going to do a little work on rounding to significant figures. So as I said, that's our intention. We want to be able to round an answer to a given significant figure. Now sometimes in the exam students struggle with rounding and lose marks at the end of questions, and marks can be the difference between a grade. So hopefully we can tidy up this idea of rounding to significant figures here. Right. What is a significant figure? Well, imagine we had this number here, okay? So what is this number? Well, at the moment, it's difficult to determine. The commas aren't in. Always put in commas in case there aren't commas in the number. So this is 6,390,273.400. Now, a significant figure is a digit in a number, so it's one of the digits in this number that gives you information about the number's size, okay? The size of the number. So, for example, and also we identify significant figures from the left to the right. We go that way. So the first significant figure is the 6. That's the 6. And it tells you the number is in the order of size 6 million. Okay? The second significant figure is, so that's the first. The second significant figure is the 3, and it tells you that also you have a 300,000 in the number. And the third significant figure is a 9, so the third significant figure is the 9, and it tells you that the number has a 90,000 in it. Okay, so similarly, that's the fourth significant figure, which tells you there are 0 thousands. That's the fifth significant figure, which tells you there are 2 hundreds. That's the sixth significant figure, which tells you that there are 7 tens. And that's the seventh significant figure that tells you there are 3 ones in this number. The eighth significant figure is 4, and it tells you there are 4 tenths. The 0 here at the end, well, they don't really tell you anything about the number at all, because obviously there are 0 hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, millionths, etc. Okay, but you don't need to go on forever. So that's what a significant figure is. Once we know that, all we have to do in questions is identify the significant figure they ask us to round to and do our normal rounding. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, let's do a question. Example 1. We're asked to round 7,462.5996 to the following. Now, first things first, always write the number down. 7,462.5996, and always write the comma in there. So write the number down. Now, the first significant figure, we were going to round to one significant figure. The first significant figure is the 7, right? So that's the column we're going to round to, and there's where we're going to do our rounding. We're rounding to the nearest thousandth. Now, because that's a 4, okay, we round off, right? We round off. So we keep the 7 as it is, and comma, and we have 0, 0, 0. We stop at the decimal point. There's no need to go further, okay? Let's keep going with this. So I'm going to copy this. So to 2 significant figures, SF, to 2 significant figures. The next significant figure is going to be the 4. And what we do is we put a line after the 4. Because that's 6, we're going to round this up. So we're going to be 7500 and stop at the decimal point. Now the rule is, just for our benefit again, we've seen this rule before. If it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, we round off. We did this in a previous video. Be careful. Do not say round down. You do not round anything down. You round it off. You keep the number before this the same, and everything is zeros after. And if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you round up. Okay? So let's keep going with this then. Let's do to 3 significant figures, and let's do to 4 significant figures. Okay? So to 3 significant figures, well, let's just highlight it this time. The third significant figure, okay, is going to be the 6 here. Okay, and because we have a 2, we round off. Okay, so it's 7460 is our answer. And the last one, to 4 significant figures, the 2 is our 4th significant figure. Because we have a 5 here, we round up. That's 7463. Now, just before we move on, that's a formulaic way of doing it. Another way of doing it, some people find this easier. I do personally as well. Once you've identified your significant figure, so in this case, we're rounding this number to the nearest thousandth. Now look at it and say, what's the nearest thousand to 7,462? Is it 7,000 or 8,000? Well, it's clearly 7,000. So that's our rounding. Here, our significant figure is hundreds. What's the nearest hundred to 7,462? Is it 7,400 or 7,500? Well, it's 7,500. You can just see. When we decide it's our 3rd significant figure, to the nearest 10. What's the nearest 10 to 7,462? Is it 7,460 or 7,470? Well, it's 7,460 clearly. And lastly, we can do its nearest one. The nearest one to this, is it 7462 or 7463? It's clearly 7463. So that's another way of thinking about it, if that helps you. Okay, let's do one more example. Example 2 here. We want to round this number here to the nearest following significant figures. So write it down, 0.39052. Right, now here's a rule for us, okay? If you have a 0 at the start or end of a number, it does not count as significant. So that's just a rule you'll have to remember. It does not count as significant, but a 0 between a number, between 2 digits, e.g. if you had the number 2408, that does count. Okay, so 0s at the start or end don't count. 0s in the middle of a number do count. Okay, so let's round this here to one significant figure. The first significant figure is not the 0, it's the 3. Okay, because we've got a 9, we round up. The answer is 0.4. Second significant figure, okay? Let's do that now. The second significant figure is going to be the 9. So that's the one we focus on. Because we have a 0, we round off, 0.39. The third significant figure does count. The 0 in this case does count, and because we have a 5, it's 0.391. And to fourth significant figures, the fourth significant figure is the 5. Because we have a 2, we round off, 0.3905. Now it's harder to think of the other method I did before here with decimals because you're talking about tenths and stuff. I would just do it in this way. And that's it for this video. There's rounding, okay?